Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori, and I want to talk to you about staying present. You hear me talk about that all the time, and it's not going to be done here on just one video because it is something that I teach my clients. Because honestly, if you could do it in one video, I'd probably have 6 private jets. So you can't, but it is going to be a daily practice of staying present. So what does staying present even look like? Okay, so I want you to understand that time is basically linear. It exists in no other time but today, like right now. Right? It doesn't exist yesterday. It doesn't exist tomorrow. You know, there's some different metaphors that will say, you know, today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday, right? Really think about that. You worried about today, yesterday, when today was tomorrow, and now we're here, right? So today is the tomorrow you worried about yesterday, or yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is the present, which is why it's called, or today is a present, which is why it's called the present. So those are 2 things to kind of keep into your mind. So what does that actually look like practically, right? Because that sounds great in words, but what does it look like if you put that in practice? So I want you to understand that to stay present, it is going to take time, patience. This is something that, again, it's going to come into the meditation. Meditation is spectacular. And I did that meditation 2 weeks ago or whatever. It's on here. It's like a 12-minute guided meditation. But it is something to really practice because it's what we call mindful meditation, guided meditation. You're not just going to hit this out the park. Meditation is a tremendously amazing tool to get you to stay in the present space. So are those 5 journals that some of you keep resisting. I'm going to keep telling you about it. It's not changing because you don't want to do it. Like, sometimes the things that you don't want to do are the things that are going to get you the outcome that you're seeking. If you're always looking at things from a perspective of you don't want to do it or you want to have something that you feel like doing, yeah, well, that's not going to serve your best and highest good. So practically, when you're staying in meditation, and let me explain. So you guys might have seen meditation of like, okay, yeah, and that is a meditation that eventually I will love to get you guys to, where you can literally, I could pretty much meditate anywhere, and I am a rapid, like I have OCD thoughts, right, which is why I take my meds, but I've somewhat mastered this. This is why I'm able to help teach it too, right, is like I could be somewhere, I could be in the middle of a concert, and if I needed to go into a present space of just chilling, and I could literally block out everything, right? And now, that does not mean that the thoughts do not come. And I think this is the big thing that you guys think that you can't do it, right? Is to understand that just because the thoughts come, you don't have to give them life. So if I'm sitting there and I think about, okay, well, I got to get this up tomorrow and da-da-da-da-da, I'll just see it in a puffy cloud or a railroad car going by and I just let it be. But eventually where I'll get you is to stay present, right? So this is a meditative practice, a journaling practice. Active meditation are things like doing the dishes, like not in the dishwasher, like, I mean, full on hand soap dishes, right? That's active meditation. Walking, active meditation. Doing laundry, active meditation. Actions in which you when you're staying focused, right? So when your mind starts to wander and you start to worry about the things that happened yesterday or what could happen over here tomorrow, that is a normal thought that will pop in your head. But when you're staying present, you're accepting that you're only doing things in this space. So I'm going to give you an example because I just got this amazing coffee. I'm waiting on my fancy coffee machine that was being fixed they sent me a brand new one coming today. Excited. So in the meantime, I got myself at the local shop, I got me a caramel latte. How many times do you do things mindlessly? Like seriously, how many times have you driven, pulled in your driveway and thought, I don't even know how I got here? Or how many times have you mindlessly eat? You're talking to a binge eater, right? So like, luckily I have that under control. But yeah, I mean, you're just not present. You're in the action, but you're not in staying present. It's the same thing that when you're doing your journaling or you're doing yoga or you're doing meditation, you're doing it as a task. That's not being mindful, and it definitely isn't staying in the present space. You're doing something, but you're doing so with this agenda, like it's something you have to do. Now it's become a chore, and you're not actually doing it. Each step that you do in a journal or whatever has to be done with no intention other than doing it in that space. So let's say I'm drinking, it's probably still hot, so I already burnt my tongue twice, so why not be insane? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's probably going to happen. But let's say you're drinking your coffee in the morning, right? It should be a nice little ritual for you. If you're a coffee or a tea drinker, whatever. And when you drink it, I would typically hold it in my mouth for a little bit. Just just to taste the flavors, taste the tones, taste the, feel the heat, feel all of that, like just to taste it. And that's doing things mindfully. If you're driving, be mindful of your driving. If you are, like, if you're wiping your mouth, seriously, yes, it is. Yes, it's going to seem like, oh my God, this is a lot. Well, you asked how to stay present. I'm giving you the tools. So now listen, I don't always stay present. I would say 80% of my day is presence. Other things are going to be like, I stay present when I start doing my crochet, and then it kind of becomes mindless, which is almost like a form of meditation. So where it's like, I'm just there, and it's kind of great. So like, even if you're wiping your mouth, feel the texture of the napkin, feel it. You're too worried about yesterday and today, but the things that you need to focus on are right now. So let's say when you go into your journaling, right? When you're doing one of the 5 journals, let's say you're doing your gratitude journal, it shouldn't be a task. You shouldn't look at that as a task. That is something that you say, oh my gosh. So, and remember, the gratitude journal lets you know, like, little things. Like if I look outside and I see my neighbor's crepe myrtle, I call the trees he and her and they, but she is a beautiful tree, and she has like beautiful pink on her. And sometimes I'll just sit and go, wow, I'm really grateful that I have that in my view line, right? You don't have to, it shouldn't be like just get up and go, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, I'm grateful for this. Okay, check, check, check. You got to find new things to be grateful for. I am always going to be grateful for my fuzzy socks. Always. It can be 147 degrees outside. I'm still going to wear my fuzzy socks inside. And I'll get new ones, or, swap them out or whatever. So little things you can be grateful for. But you're trying too hard to make this like a job, and it cannot be a job. You're making it way more difficult than it needs to be, which is why everything is a task. Everything is big, because you're looking at these long-term goals, which we all need, right? You want to have something to go towards, but you got to stay present. And the art of staying present is not worrying about what the kids are doing over here. Like, adult kids, obviously young kids, you probably should pay attention, but but that's staying present too. But you can't worry about what other people are doing. What's going to happen at work Tuesday for the meeting, and it's like Thursday, and you're worried about next Tuesday. We're not even on Tuesday. We're here now. You can't control things that you can't control. And the art of that is going to be practicing those meditations. I have 2 different meditations that are on the YouTube here, on YouTube here. And you can try those out. But it's also allowing yourself to sit with your thoughts. Sit with your thoughts and journal them. Let yourself have that data dump journal by the bed. That's how you start processing that. And that's how you stay present. So you want to be mindful with things. When you're eating, this has been hugely helpful with my binge eating. When I eat with intention. I taste it. I taste the salt, the sugar, the texture, the flavor. Sit with it. Don't just shovel it in my mouth like I used to do. But that's called the art of being present, and that's self-discipline. And let me again remind you, this is a lifelong practice. Every single day, all day. Like I said, 80%. If I'm on a roller coaster, I don't have no choice but to be present, because I can only see that, but I do let it all go. I'm like, I don't even care about anything. I'm just like here. And that will become a natural habit for you. You won't worry about yesterday, because you understand and accept that time is gone, baby. You can sit there and regret it all you want. You can want to redo it all you want. It is not going to happen. And you can't worry about that, because what is done, and what could happen can't happen today. So when you practice that, that's how we stay present. So go do some active meditation, do your 5 journals. I have a 10-minute video on here. Go back and look at why I recommend the 5 journals. Yep, might seem excessive to you, but how's your brain working right now? Does it seem overwhelming? Has it really worked in your favor? Then go do the 5 journals. You want the tools. The tools may not always be the ones in which you want. Doesn't matter. They're the ones that will be effective for you, and it will give you the outcome that you're seeking. But all these tools I give you are only going to be as effective as what you use them. But I love you guys. Stay present.